My name is Elizabeth from Elizabeth Magical Garden. Here is where I empower women to reclaim their authentic power, embrace their inner wisdom, and transform life's most challenges. Transitions into profound opportunities for spiritual growth and self-discovery. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload a video. Subscribe to the newsletter at Elizabeth Magical Garden, as well as check out my podcast at Elizabeth Magical Garden, which goes live every single day. Hi, my name is Elizabeth from Elizabeth Magical Garden, a magical garden reaching for the stars. Guys, welcome back to the vlog channel. Guys, I am so excited to be here. Let me tell you, today was a day. Today was a day because let me tell you, when you put your mind to doing something, it seems like that's when things want to go loose, okay? But if you want to know more about that, be sure to head on over to the podcast channel at Elizabeth Magical Garden Podcast, where I gave a little tidbit of my thought process in order to get here today. But anyway, welcome back. I have been missing you guys. I've been away for a little bit. You know, I'm still here, but I haven't been going live for quite some time now. And I said to myself, I said, you know what? Enough is enough. I got to come check on my girls, check on my peeps. And here I am. I had a delicious birthday. My birthday was in June, and I gotta tell you guys, I'm feeling her. I'm feeling this version of myself. I'm feeling good in my spirit, most importantly, and it's just showing in so many different areas of my life. And I wanted to come here and share that thought process with you guys, because I know these times can be really confusing, to say the least, and also discerning, right? Disheartening, for lack of better words. So I wanted to come here and, spread a little bit of cheer on you guys, because this vlog message today is for those who are feeling behind. Girl, I done pressed the mute. For those who are feeling behind, tired, and, just feeling as if life is passing you by, to be honest, because it's very easy, especially with the current events that's happening today, especially when we looking on our phones and look at Instagram and all these social media things, and we're looking into other people's lives. You can be made to feel like, girl, what am I doing? What am I doing in my life? And I wanted to come and shed a little light on that. So be sure to get a beverage, get something to drink, subscribe, and, let's just go on for the ride. So welcome. This is what I believe, okay? I believe that God has a plan for us. And I know it may feel as if things are not just like, it just doesn't feel good, right? You feel a knot in your stomach at night. You're questioning, you're smiling, but you're crying inside. You have all these questions. You have all these wants and needs and aspirations, and it's just feeling like, when is it going to be my time? When is it ever going to end? When is this thought process that has been holding me back, when is it going to end? When will it be released? Right? Because I know for me, it was like that for a very long time in my life. A very long time. Feeling behind, tired, or like life has passed me by, to be honest. I raised my son. I, put him through college, and, yes, I got a lot of things done on the way of, and I was blessed to do so. I was able to retain my cosmetology license. I worked with inner city kids for over 2 decades. I've been on my own since I was dare I say, in my early 20s. My son was already 4 years old when I got my first apartment. It was hard, to say the least. I was a teenage mother. I literally gave, like, had my birthday, gave birth all in, like, within a 1 week span. Okay. Becoming a woman, as I was becoming a woman, I was pregnant. So I have had my shares of questions and doubts, needless to say. But God is still writing your story. God was still writing my story. See, I didn't see that back then. I couldn't hear it. I felt it. I've always felt this pull over my life, guys. I've always felt safe. Let me tell you something. Let me go back a little bit. When I was a young girl, I was, I would like to say I was curious, okay? I had a lot of questions. And because I had a lot of questions, I've always been a person to want to pursue, let's just say. And I was a handful. I was a handful. I mean, I was a good girl, but I was a good girl. And I was a handful. And I'm so grateful after God how my mother always, she never gave up on me, and I gave her plenty, I'm sure, of times where it felt like that. But as parents, now that I am a mother myself, you realize how this tug of war, this pull that we have with our children, right, can be very taxing, scary, angry, and full of pain at times. Yes, it has its immense amount of joy, but there are a lot of things along the way to that joy table, right? And mothers, how I feel, what I'm saying about this. Like, there's always this thing where you're not going to give up on your child, right? No matter how that looks like, right? And it just makes me think about God and how he never gives up on us, even when things appears to be very bleak. God is still writing your story, because God specializes, hear me out, hear me. God specializes in new beginnings. See, you were never meant to stay the same. You were never meant to come into this lifetime and remain the same. And I really believe that a lot of us, we really feel like up in awe when things are changing and shifting, even for the better, even things for the better. When things are going good in your life, it can still build a certain amount of fear, right? I know for me, there are some things that I am currently working on right now, and I can't wait to share with you guys. It's scary, and I will go into that. I cannot wait. Like I said, I can't wait. I don't want to be spoiler. I don't want to give spoilers, but through this journey, there's a lot of fear. Anytime that you are embarking in a new journey, fear is right next door. And I do believe one of the reasons why people are not following their dreams is because they are waiting for all the answers to appear in order for them to move forward. And that's just not the case. You got to move forward with the fear. That's where the faith comes in, right? So God specializes in new beginnings. And your comeback starts right where you are. Even if all you can do today is take one small step. All is needed of you is to take that first small step, or big if you're feeling adventurous. The teacher who built there's a story, and I'm gonna read this story to you. And when I came across the story, I thought this was so beautiful, and it resonates with this topic today. There was a teacher who built a library in a refugee camp. Her name was Fatima. Fatima noticed Fatima. I'm gonna say I believe I'm pronouncing it right. Excuse me if I'm not, but I'm pronouncing it Fatima. Fatima noticed children had nothing. The children had nothing to read, with no funding or support. She collected donated books, created she created a makeshift library in her tent and taught reading classes. Well, word spread and donations started pouring in. Today, in her library service, hundreds of children and has expected to 3 camps. It expanded. Like, the expectation of her doing it was her just wanting to help. And hundreds of donations came in. And what it did was expand not 1, not 2, but 3 camps. 3 camps was created all because she started this new venture, which is taking donated books and teaching kids in her small camp. And could you imagine the circumstances, the risk that was taken when Fatima decided to do that? I cannot even imagine, right? But yet and still, she was bold enough to collect these books. And then the word spread. And then the donations were poured in. Right? Her library served hundreds of children and has expanded to 3 camps. Fatima showed that you don't need permission or resources to make a difference. Just unwavering commitment to a cause. She was committed. Fatima was committed to teach these young little kids how to read with the books that she was able to receive. Right? I thought this was like, it's a short story. It's a short, sweet, but yet powerful story, because you know what, guys? I'm sure if you are under the sound of my voice, you have way more than Fatima did, right? But her perspective, see, when you allow your perspective to be great, coming from a healing place, and this is why I'm always talking about moving and healing your body. This is why breath work is so important, guys. This is why when you take the time to move your body, when you take the time to heal, when you take the time to breathe, you change your, not only your physicality, but you change the way you think. Meditation, breath work is so important in order for you to consciously arrive to a clear thought, guys. It wasn't until I started practicing breathing, moving my body, doing breath work, grounding myself, allowing myself to feel the life that God intended for me to live only is when I started feeling like myself. And then what did it do? It allowed me to see life from a different perspective. See, the difference between peace and panic is your perspective, your ability to practice seeing life from a newfound level. Your perspective will make the situation better or worse. See, Fatima could have been like, "Oh, I feel like it's Fatima, but it's Fatima. I'm saying Fatima. I think it's Fatima. I'm gonna spell it to you guys, and you let me know. It's Fatima. Is it Fatima or Fatima? It's a name. She could have said, "You know what? I have these books. I want to teach these girls and boys how to read, but this place. Remember, she was in a refugee camp. I have limit. She could have said she had limited space, limited resources, and easily said, "You know what? It's a good thought. I would love to help these children, but you know what? With the present circumstances, I'm just gonna let that pass." No, that's not what she did. What Fatima decided to do is gather the books that she was able to receive from the donations and start from there. And what that did, it escalated and compounded amongst itself, and other camps expanded through her ability to see things from a new perspective. Right? When you see situations from a new perspective, things get better. And when you are not able to do that, it could either sometimes it still gets better, or sometimes it could get worse, right? Because now it's just like up in the air, right? It's easy to scream. It's easy to shout. It's so easy to give up when things are looking bleak and you feel like, you know what? What's the point? What's the point of moving forward? Like, today was a day for me. And it's so interesting because, and I read this before, when you're starting something new, when you're doing something positive, this is when things want to arise to get you, to discourage you, right? Get you off your game. And I had ample opportunity today, if I may say, to allow that to happen to me. But I didn't. You know what I said? I said, I'm going to show up flyer. I'm gonna come better. Because what I'm not going to do is allow God's great work to go silent because I had a couple of snafus. You know what? Life is not perfect. Life is not perfect. Nothing is perfect. It's not about being perfect. It's about your ability to pivot and bounce back and make do. This is one of the key components I believe winners have. Their ability. When you see people prosperous and they're doing their things, it's not they're doing their thing. It's not because, like, look at this fly. That was a fly. If you just seen a little blur, I can't make this up. A big one at that. Okay, thank God I'm not scared of insects. Guys, I can't even make this up. One of the things that I see over and over again when people are high achievers, they keep going. They don't get caught up in the minutia of things not being perfect. They make quick decisions and they keep pivoting. Ask yourself, what would life look like if you adapted this mindset? Not getting caught on the, oh my God, this video is not the best. Oh my God, my Wi-Fi. I just finished going live on my other channel, which is Elizabeth Magical Podcast, and I back at the village and it's live. When you are live, you guys know you're at the beck and call of the internet. Okay. So I noticed like some of how it gets frozen and stuff like that. But I was like, girl, can you hear the message? Can they hear the message? And you know what? The message was clear. Would I had loved the video to just be as clear as that? Of course. Of course. Right? But if I allow these small things to get in the way, I will never allow myself to move forward and bring these messages to you guys, which is a disservice for you guys, but also to myself, right? Because I'm learning right alongside with you guys, right? So we don't need to scream and shout, right? Because I could have thrown a tantrum today. It's not cute. Why throw a tantrum? You know what? The next time life throws you a curveball, no matter the size, I would suggest for you to zoom out, look at this, take a deep breath, zoom out, take a look at the situation and find the positive in the midst of all of that. Find the positive in the midst of that circumstance that you find yourself in. Like right now, I'm sitting before you guys and I am going live on this channel and there are bugs because I had my window open because it's hot. I got the AC. Okay. It's not central air. We don't have central air yet. Right. So the flies are coming in. I could, the internet, all the things can be, every which way. And I could say, oh, why this is that? I'm in a cool room. I'm cool. I have access. I have my equipment. I'm able to come and do what I love and pour into you guys. I'm winning. It's a win. It's a win situation. A lot of times we focus on the wrong things, right? And you don't allow yourself the gift of being happy and celebrating life itself. Because you can make your day a miserable day. You can make it a positive day, right? You could have a temperament where you are upset or happy. But why? Why would you put yourself in this knowing circumstance that's only going to zap time away from you? Because this and it's not to say, wait, hold on. I do not believe that we should be going through life in a dream-like state as much as I would love to at times. But I am suggesting in finding joy in the things you can do. Like today, I made a delicious raisin bread. Okay. Let me tell you something. Do you see her? I made a delicious raisin bread. It was so good in my bread maker. I add raisins, cinnamon, and butter, and I made sure I put the right amount of water. I did all the things, right? And while I was doing that, I just felt so happy. I felt so happy, guys. I felt so happy. I'm over here making my little bread. I'm doing my little thing. And it just made me realize how grateful I am to be able to do small things in life. And those small yet powerful moments in my life, when I take time to breathe, when I take time to move my body, when I take time to bread, It makes me happy. So when I do come across moments that is not allowing me to be in my best light, I rely on those moments to help me get through that. So examine those areas of your life that you find so much joy. And I kid you not, usually it's the small things. I believe it's always the small things, right? And a lot of us don't allow ourselves those, you know, those small pockets of areas in our lives to cherish and to welcome other new things in our lives. No, what we do is we get stuck in the things that's not working for us. And what that does is create a pattern of stagnance. You get stagnant, you just stay still, and now you're doing nothing. Right? Now your energy has so zapped because you haven't had the ability to move forward with life because of that one thing that didn't go your way, that one person that didn't call, that one job deal that didn't go through, or a couple of job deals that didn't go through. Instead of saying, you know what, I had a great month last month, or I had a great year last year. Wow, I wonder what God wants me to learn this year, because things are looking a little slow this year. How can I pivot? How can I aid my clientele to see me from a different perspective? What can I offer them that would help them that much more? How can I become the go-to person? How can I start that new project that I've been wanting to start for so long, that book I've been wanting to write? What would happen if I started working out a little more than sitting down 5 days a week because I'm always on my computer doing work? Because let me tell you, this sitting down situation is a real thing. This sitting down situation is a real thing. And active, especially as we get older, being active is extremely important, guys. It's not a gift anymore. It's a gift you can do, but it's not up for grabs. It's something that needs to be done. And no, it's not glamorous. It's not. But you know what's glamorous? Being able to pick up your grandkids, being able to pick up your puppy, being able to bring your groceries home, right? Being able to stand for a certain amount of time without feeling like you have to sit down quickly. And for those who struggle in those areas, this message is still for you, because there's always something you can do. There's always something that you can do. I don't believe in, you know what, counting things out, because that's not I don't believe in counting things out. Here we go. I don't believe in counting things out because we start to get older. You can still do breath work, right? You can still do breath work. You can still feel your body. You can still come from a place where you are centering yourself, feeling your spirit, right? Not allowing life to just snatch you by without putting forth the ability to feel strong in your body, in yourself. Because it's not about, let me tell you something. Let me be clear, okay? It's not about your physicality and how you look. Now that is a bypass. Like, you know what I mean? Because I know for me, it's always start with my mentals. It always start with how I feel. How does my nervous system feel? Don't get me wrong. I'm very grateful for the gift of moving my body. I'm so grateful. But what I'm even more grateful for is being at rest. Being able to be calm in a world that is always asking so much of me. Let me tell you something. Your ability to be calm, your ability to be in a state of mind where you can hear your thoughts is a gift. It's a gift. And I'm here to tell you, not having that gift will send you in a land that we don't want to know. And it's not make believe either. Or maybe it is. Right? But God created us on this beautiful journey we call life in order for us to conquer and be successful. Guys, listen, he didn't say that we wasn't going to go through. This journey that you find yourself on, which is called life, was never intended to just be peaceful. And I know that's not something that we are comfortable with. But it is intended for you to get through, for you to move forward, for you to win, for you to start over, start anew. Today is the day where you have the ability to say, you know what? I had enough of this. I remember a couple of years back, I was dealing with a back injury, guys. Okay? It wasn't fun. A month before my birthday month, that whole month I was in bed. My mind, I can't even tell you, right? Because not being able to move the way you want is not a fun thing. It's not. And thank God for the pouring that I had for my mother, for my loved ones, after God. It definitely helped me. But you know what helped me even more? I didn't mean to put that. All right, girl. You know what helped me even more? My mindset. It got to the point where I said, okay, this is what's happening right now. This is what it is. What can we do while we are healing and mending? What can we do during our day that will allow us to feel productive, feel good, while still getting rest? Well, I started writing in my blog. I started listening to sermons. I remember TD Jakes was going hard, and I was eating those sermons because let me tell you something. I needed all the positivity that I was able to receive. I did not entertain negative conversation. I didn't even entertain a negative conversation that I was having within myself. Okay. I needed everything to coincide with my ultimate destination, which was me healing and getting back on my feet and living life to where I was accustomed to. And I was able to do that. Thank you, God. Because I willed it. I said to myself, on my birthday, I am definitely going to be off this bed and I'm going to be moving. And that's exactly what happened. Now, was I moving the way no, but I was moving. I was able to move around. I remember I even walked to the park because I was determined. You may right now be going through something that maybe only you know. You may be fighting. And I believe a lot of us find ourselves in this way, fighting these battles. Girl, you just want to keep coming up. Just smile, though. A lot of us are in these battles, right? These battles that are unknown to others. Plenty of the times that can leave you thinking that you are alone. I remember in the show, I believe it's called Just And just like that with Carrie Bradshaw, okay, Sarah Jessica Parker was play. Of course, she's a star in that show, but it's a spinoff from Sex and the City. And I remember like in the last, I believe it was the last episode where Carrie said she's, I want to get it right. She's on her own, but not alone. Ooh, I'm gonna repeat that. She was on her own, but not alone. See, a lot of us come from, I'm by myself. I'm just by myself. No, she said she's on her own. Yes, she knew it. She was on her own. You know, she wasn't married. Her and Aiden broke up. That was a whole girl. I was like low key happy that she broke up with Aiden because I was saying to myself, I don't know. And then he slept with his ex-wife. I'm saying to myself, what? And she forgave Carrie. And she forgave him, right? Because she was coming from a perspective where nobody is perfect. He was a good man. She knew him for a very long time. She knew he loved her, which he did, but I don't know. And then he had this son that had like some type of behavior problem, girl. But anyway, I was so happy. I was so happy when my girl broke up with her. And it was a long distance relationship at that. And she was a good woman to him. Anyway, that was just my little rant right there. But like, here we go again. Okay, I might as well just leave this pretty smile right here. I was so happy here, guys. This was the other day where I was doing some breath work, and I felt really good in my body. I've been feeling really good in my body lately, and you know, I know this definitely stems from, of course, gratitude. It definitely stems from a place where when I was, I tell you, that back injury happened twice, girl. Okay, it happened twice, and I think it was like 1 year after that. It just happened twice, and of course, I had to learn my body. I was in the gym already, but I wasn't doing some things that I needed to do, which was like stretching. Yeah, and what you see is that let's bring her back. Why not? Matter of fact, let's do this. Here we go. What you see here is gratitude. What you see here is every time I get on that mat, guys, every time I work out, every time I am able to move my body, I don't want to get emotional just thinking about it, but I just am so grateful to God, because that was like a really scary thing. And what about the prison that you may be feeling that you're in within your mind? No one wants to talk about that one. The mind clutch, I like to call it, where you actually even believe. You actually even believe those cruel thoughts that you have in your mind. Like, think about it. If you were looking at the little you, like when you was like 5 years old, would you say those negative things to that little girl? Would you say those things? Would you look at her and say those offlandish things that you say to yourself? I don't think so. So why would you do it now? Why would you do it now? Why would you believe that God did not create you to win? Why would you believe that in this world, universe, with everybody moving and shaking, with the abundance that is here for you, that when it comes to you, everything got taken away. Oh no more for you, because you got to the facility too late. No, you matter. You matter. You have the capability to win just like everybody else. It doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter what you went through. I mean, it does matter what you went through, but it doesn't matter what you went through. You know what I mean? So give yourself grace. Give yourself love. Give yourself joy. Speak life into your existence. I came across Miss Hay from Hay House. She's the one who created it, and about mirror work. And the thing about it is, which I mentioned in a latter episode, I was doing mirror work, speaking into the mirror. I mean, speaking into the mirror, telling myself how gorgeous, how blessed, how great I am, right? And it was a hard thing when I started doing it because I kid you not, I was crying. It was hard for me to look myself into the mirror. But once I got past all of that, something started to happen, guys. I started believing it. I started believing it. I started believing the words. I started believing. I started pushing. I started having a level of expectancy, right? Because sometimes, girl, you got to build yourself back up. You know, life could punch you in the face real hard to the point where, like, oh, I had to, excuse me, I had to recalibrate. Okay? And that's okay. Get back up. Get back up. Like Aaliyah, God bless her spirit, used to say, dust yourself off and try again. Okay, dust yourself off and try again. You get off you know the old saying, you fall off the horse, you get back on. One day it's going to stick. It's okay. And if you fall off, you get back on again. You only fail when you stop trying. A oldie but goodie. A oldie but goodie. You only fail when you stop trying. So keep moving forward. Keep pursuing those dreams. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you want to go back to school, if you want to get your education, let's say, you know, a lot of people, you know, especially mothers, when you have been raising your children for your whole life, right? You may be in a position now where you're ready to go and further your education. Pursue that dream. You may be in a position now where you want to start that business. Start that business. You may be in a position, maybe you have been, you know, widowed or divorced, and now you want to go out and start dating. Start dating. Never mind the naysayers, because there's always the naysayers. But you know what I realize about people that are winning? They actually want others to win. Okay. People that are winning are usually doing this. They're usually thumbs upping you. Okay. Because they're mirroring what they are going through. They are a mirror of what they are expecting back. So of course they're going to thumbs you up because they're thumbing up themselves. Okay. So usually winners are going like this. The ones that got something to say, the ones that are coming from a negative point of view, usually that is a reflection. That's why getting so caught up in what people say, it's like, okay, first of all, you don't even know. You don't even know me. You don't even know me. And I don't know you, but God bless you. Because when people are in a different state in life and when people are going through pain, a lot of times they don't even realize the pain that they are inflicting. And I know that may be hard to swallow at times, but it is true. I believe Jesus said, forgive them, for they do not know what they do. Because I truly, and that every time I think about that, that's so true. Because when you really understand something, 9 times out of 10, you ain't going to do it. If you really had a real comprehension, and a lot of times we are ignorant, we're coming from a place of ignorance, which is more than likely why you find yourself entertaining certain things. And this is why it's important to take control of the things that you consume. You know, I like to do my best to stay up with my current events. So, because for a long time, guys, I was not even looking at them. I was like, I was in a different place in my life. I was in a healing stage in my life, and I had no bandwidth to hear negative anything. Okay. Light years later, as time progressed and as time moved on, I find myself in a different season in my life. And with the current atmosphere of the world, I personally believe it is healthy to be informed, whether that be with the current events, whether that be with the economy, anything. It's good to know, because for a long time it works. It worked for me where I was more of a no than a yes. But as you escalate and as you move things, different seasoning is now required. And because that is, it's imperative for you to be in a no, because you don't want nobody playing in your face. Right? You want to understand. You want to have yourself be familiar with things. That's one. Number two, making yourself more desirable towards your open market, whatever that is. If you are a person, let's just say that you want to start dating. Are you going out? Are you allowing yourself to be amongst the people that will allow you to potentially meet your long lost love? Because I do believe a soulmate is out there for all of us. Right? Are you building your perspective and how you see life and what's your point of view? And I believe one of the things that is really good and healthy for an individual is hearing other people's point of view. What are their perspective, and understanding or even researching why, and why is this particular mindset happening? What happened? What geared them towards that direction? And it's not about all of us thinking and believing in the same thing, because we all have our own journey, right? But I do believe as you go through that journey with investigating and reading and learning, you find you are presented with different parts of your own point of view, something that you probably would never been presented if you didn't take that road. Right? If you didn't go and do that particular research, you wouldn't see what is your opinion towards things. And all these things that I'm mentioning is part of your willing and your winning tools. Because what happens when you start living life in this way, you become much more powerful in your market, because you as an individual have ascended. You cannot unknow what you know. This is a thing about education in any form. You cannot know what you know. And it's all the reason why you should take very seriously the things that you consume. You know, I'm at this point in my life where I'm not sitting here watching a whole bunch of TV. Now, I never really was a big TV person. Even now, like, the TV, I have like what I have is okay and I love it, but it's more just to entertain. I honestly, when I entertain, usually the people that come to my house enjoy this even more than I do, because I don't really sit there. Now, there's some times, I'm not gonna say I don't watch TV. There's some times where I'll sit and I'll binge, especially in the wintertime. It's cold. You might want to, watch a good movie. I'm here for a Game of Thrones. Of course, that series has ended. Anybody? Oh my God! So, are you guys up on the what's the spinoff name? The dragon. What's it's I can't even remember right now. But are you here for the spinoff? Because let me tell you something. One of the characters, Damon, I don't know. I think I got a crush on him. My boy, he is so mischievous. And the things that House of Dragons, whoo, because I was like, girl, just watching it. House of Dragons. Are anybody House of Dragon fans? Because I was a Game of Thrones fan. Now, this is like a spinoff, kind of like before the Game of Thrones actually took place. House of Dragons, it's supposed to be like a futuristic situation, coming event to that episode. Because from what I didn't read the book. The whole thing was on the series I've been watching on HBO, but I love House of Dragons, and I just love the costumes. I love the debauchery of the things, and I just love that episode. And yeah, so what I started doing is, during the week, I say to myself, what are the shows that I definitely do not want to miss? So House of Dragons definitely is one of those shows. It comes on Sunday at 9 o'clock. So usually I'm watching it like after. So like I can't even look on Instagram or any shorts because I don't want any spoilers, because I watch it the day after. Why? Because I go to bed at 8, girl. Yeah, I'm in a bed at 8. Okay, your girl try to stay up a couple of nights, and girl, wasn't doing me. I am the best version of myself early in the day. As the time gets later, as the sun ascends, I ascend down as well. Okay, so that's usually what it is. So I watch it the day after. So I do things like that. And and that show's like for an hour or some change or whatever, usually like an hour or 45 minutes. It depends, but like usually an hour. So my thing is like an hour a day that I'll actually allow myself to sit down and really take in a show. Now that could be either the whole hour, or it could be broken up into a half an hour here, a half an hour there. Or if I want to keep check up on some YouTube channels, I'll break it up even, more on a weekend. I'll let it go into maybe like a 2 hour. So like if it's a movie I'm watching that goes into like an hour and a half or 2, I'm not like sweating it or whatever the situation is, but that's not something that I personally partake in during the week. Why? Because I'm feeding myself. I'm feeding my mind. I'm feeding my body. I'm working on my business. I'm doing the things that I need to do behind the scenes that is asking of my attention, and so many other things that I'm also pursuing as well. And sitting in front of a television is not going to allow me to achieve things. Right? And this is how you are able to expand, not only financially, but spiritually. In the mornings, what I love to do is sit after I have my coffee. I make my coffee and I, do do the things, do my stretches, and then I write in my journal. And after I write in my journal, I sit down and do my devotionals. I sit down with myself and I read my Bible. For you, it might be something else, right? But having a higher source, for me, it's God, right? Whatever you believe in. But sitting down and quiet and reading things that's going to feed your mind, enable you to live life in a way that will bring you peace and prosperity, it's a win-win. And I just feel like once you do these things and you incorporate these things, understanding that who you are right now and experiencing and wanting a new beginning is not so far-fetched. You start to realize that it is your God-given right to be successful. The same way, listen, I know people get caught up like, how much money is too. You know what? As much as possible. I want as much blessings as possible. I want as much, and I have an expectancy of as much goodness as possible, as humanly possible for myself. That is not a selfish act. You should never be, in my opinion, you should never come and be shameful for the things that you want in your life. You are deserving just like everybody else. God, think about it. God took the time to create you. There's only one you. You are special. There's a reason why you made it into this life. Because trust me, if you know anatomy, a lot of them didn't even get it to the egg. Didn't make it to the feet. They wasn't able to make it. Right? That right there shows you that you are special. If you are in the least into science. It's just a fact. If this message helped you in just the least, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Be sure to check out my podcast at Elizabeth Magical Garden. All the links will be down below, as well as sign up for my email list at Elizabeth Magical Garden. And stay tuned, guys, because I'm back. I look forward to coming live much more often. More than likely, it's going to be on a Wednesday. So hit that bell so you'll be getting the notifications and you'll be aware when I'm doing the things. You already know how this whole thing works, guys. Oh, and share, because why? Sharing is caring. Guys, stay blessed, stay in peace, and stay empowered.